thunderstorms. It's from just to the north of the community of Aspermont near Haskell, and even going up as far northeast as Vernon, as east as Seymour. This thunderstorm complex, it's produced a lot of heavy rain. That's why you're seeing all those green polygons. That's flash flood warnings. So if you live in Stonewall County, King County, or Knox County, this thunderstorm has produced a lot of rain. Remember, you want to turn around, don't drown. You want to avoid those flooded roadways at all costs. It only takes 6 inches of standing water to potentially move a full-sized car, so you definitely want to take the flash flooding threat seriously as well. And you can see those pink colors. That's for the very heavy rainfall and the very large hail as well. And you can see that kind of wrap around to the east of Benjamin near Vera. That's the rotation that the National Weather Service office has issued that tornado warning for. They also are issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for Wilbarger and Baylor counties, and talking now about issuing a tornado watch for some of our more northeastern counties closer towards Wichita Falls. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. That means conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorm development. Includes Crockett County, Sterling County, Coke County, Abilene, up towards the Red River, getting into portions of Oklahoma. In the Concho Valley right now, no imminent tornado threat. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning that goes from Big Lake towards McCamey, kind of towards the northwest of Ira Ann. That severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Crockett County until 6:15. And this thunderstorm complex also moving really slowly, dumping a lot of rain between Big Lake, McCamey, and Ira Ann. So not an imminent tornado threat with that. Still, though, a powerful thunderstorm nonetheless. To give a very close look at where that tornado warning is currently. Right now, the strongest winds inside the thunderstorm just to the west of the community of Vera, just to the east of the community of Benjamin. The winds inside the thunderstorm still showing the really powerful winds. Remember, the green is winds going towards the radar. The red is winds going away from the radar. And you can see that very bright red near the community of Vera. The radar is estimating those wind speeds as high as 60 miles an hour. We had a report earlier in the community of Benjamin of winds up to 90 miles an hour, which would be the equivalent of I believe, a low EF1 tornado. So not to say that necessarily occurred in the community of Benjamin, but it is to say that there were very powerful winds with the thunderstorm. Hopefully no reports of damage. Hopefully everyone stays safe. If you live, though, in this part of Knox County, right kind of on the border of Knox County and Baylor County, I really need you to be in that safe room. We're streaming on all of our different Fox West Texas platforms. You can watch us on Fox West Texas Plus if you own a smart TV. You can also take us with you into your safe room if you have the Fox West Texas mobile app. That is a great way to watch the streaming with this very powerful thunderstorm. It does look like overall the rotation has weakened just a little bit with that thunderstorm in Knox County. They are issuing a flash flood warning as a result of really the powerful rains that are falling with this thunderstorm. You can see that notch kind of on the north side of the community of Vera. It bulges out almost between Monday up towards Vera, Gilliland. That's indicative of very powerful thunderstorm winds kind of with this cluster of thunderstorms. It's right along Highway 82. So folks should not be traveling along Highway 82, just given the powerful winds, the hail, and the very heavy rainfall falling in northeastern Knox County. It looks like the greatest threat is east of the community of Benjamin at this point, north of the community of Monday, and starting to move into Baylor County. So still, if you know folks who live in Baylor County, I want you to give them a phone call. Baylor County is technically just outside the Fox West Texas viewing area. The winds inside the thunderstorm, we can Gate-to-gate shear tells you about how fast that rotation is when you have that green right next to that very bright red. And it is looking a little bit on the weaker side, not weak enough to the point where I would tell you to no longer be in your safe room, but it's powerful nonetheless. And with these kind of clusters of thunderstorms, it's pretty typical. Sometimes you'll have a quick spin up inside the thunderstorm where a tornado will briefly be on the ground, do some damage, and then go back into the clouds. That may be what's ongoing in Knox County right now, where we're kind of seeing the rotation go back up into the cloud. Not to say that you should get out of your safe room. I still want you to be in your safe room in eastern Knox County. And it does look like maybe a little bit of an area of rotation to the north of Rhineland. That's between Benjamin and Vera along Highway 82. Zooming in on that area, it looks like there might be a little bit of a weakening right there in the rainfall. So that may be a little bit of extra rotation that's forming to the west of the main area of rotation again. That's kind of just on the north side of Vera. That's where the winds are coming inside the thunderstorm. You can go outside and feel it's very warm, very muggy across west central Texas right now. That's the fuel for these thunderstorms, and that's why we're seeing these very severe thunderstorms producing large hail, gusty winds, and tornado warnings as well. So Vera, Rhineland still really needs you to be in those safe rooms. And also lots of severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing with this thunderstorm. Lots of reports of very large hail, not just in Knox County, but for Stonewall County as well. And that's really been the main weather impact that we've been seeing is the hail threats. And that's why we've been seeing all these severe thunderstorm warnings. I want to take a second to show what's going on all across the Fox West Texas viewing area. For the most part, it's storm-free in the Concho Valley. You have that little thunderstorm from Big Lake back towards Ira, and that's producing some large hail, some gusty winds. Not an imminent tornado threat for portions of Crockett County or portions of Reagan County. Maybe a little bit of rain south of San Angelo. My main concern right now, north of Interstate 20, from Aspermont towards Benjamin, northern portions of Haskell County, you're included in a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for the potential of very large hail. We can look at our hail radar tool. That'll give us an approximation of how big the hail is, and it looks like the biggest hail by far right now is across portions of Knox County. We can sample with radar about how big that hail is in Knox County. And right now, radar is estimating some of that hail potentially up to golf ball size. So really need you to be in that safe room, northern and eastern portions of Knox County. Not only is there the hail threat, the gusty wind threat, and the heavy rainfall threat, but also a tornado warning for Knox County. Sounds good. Thank you, Tristan. So we're going to continue keeping a track of this thunderstorm right now. And you can really see that rotation wrapping around right on the north side of Vera. That's indicative of very strong winds with this thunderstorm and potentially a dangerous situation ongoing right now. So folks near Vera, eastern Knox County, I really need you to be taking this seriously. We can see the green is winds going towards the radar, red is winds going away from the radar. When you see those winds start to wrap up, you can almost see on the radar, if we zoom in to the north side of Vera, you notice that yellow line near the red bulge. Here's the inflow, the wind going inside the thunderstorm, bringing the very muggy air, the thunderstorm fuel to eastern portions of Knox County. You can see it almost wrapping around, indicative of very strong winds. That's why the National Weather Service has that tornado warning in effect. Benjamin, you have been trimmed from the tornado warning. You are no longer included in that tornado warning. So folks in Benjamin, you are good to leave your safe room. Folks in Vera, I still want you to be in that tornado safe room. National Weather Service still has this moving east at 25 miles an hour. So far, the tornado hasn't been confirmed by spotters on the ground. That's certainly not to say that there is no tornado. We still have that strong evidence from radar of a tornadic circulation in eastern portions of Knox County. That's eventually going to be moving into western portions of Baylor County. And with all the rain inside the thunderstorm, it'd be really difficult to see the potential tornadic circulation. So all of that to say, folks in Vera, I really want you to be in that safe room. This tornadic circulation is eventually, I think, going to pass into portions of Baylor County. It still, though, is in effect for folks in Knox County. Most recent data from the National Weather Service, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Vera, moving east at 25 miles an hour. And it appears we have just had a tornado watch released. Let's go ahead and show folks that. So the latest from the National Weather Service office in Norman, Oklahoma, they're discussing a tornado watch. And I can name you the counties that are likely to be included. So they're going to issue a tornado watch that includes Archer, Baylor, Clay, Cook, Fisher, Grayson, Haskell, Jack, Jones, Knox, Montague, Shackelford, Throckmorton, Wichita, Wilbarger, and Wise County. So it hasn't been pushed through quite yet, but that tornado watch that they're putting out is going to include Haskell, Stonewall, and Knox County in the Fox West Texas viewing area. We should be receiving that relatively soon. And this is why you have that intense complex of thunderstorms north of Interstate 20. There's one tornado warning right now, and it does include eastern portions of Knox County. We're also maybe seeing a little bit of some broad rotation kind of from Aspermont towards Haskell. Not currently a tornado warning in effect. We can see what the National Weather Service office is saying about that severe thunderstorm warning in Haskell County. It's currently warned for ping pong ball size tail, so it's still a powerful thunderstorm, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. Yes, and the tornado warning the tornado watch has just come out. And you can see it includes portions of Haskell, Throckmorton, Shackelford, Jones, Fisher County. It's also going to include portions of Stonewall County once that comes out. There's still a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Taylor County and kind of portions to the west. And this tornado watch, the tornado watch is in effect until 1 a.m., so they have extended the tornado watch a little bit longer than that severe thunderstorm watch was in effect. They've extended it effectively by about 5 hours. I wouldn't be shocked if they extended that severe thunderstorm watch as well, given a little bit of, given the trends we've been seeing in the data. Here's the latest from that tornado warning in eastern Knox County, western portions of Baylor County. Overall, it does look like the tornadic circulation is weakening, and now it looks to be more transitioning towards a strong wind threat. Still, though, I want you to be in that safe room because, frankly, the strong winds, the straight line winds, can be just as impactful as a weak tornado. You can see that very bright red color on radar. That is the very strong winds we're seeing. Sampling the winds inside the thunderstorm. Still, a thunderstorm is considered severe if it produces winds upwards of 58 miles an hour. It's producing 64 miles an hour. And that's technically in just to the east of Knox County in Baylor County. So overall, it looks like the thunderstorm's weakening a little bit. These types of thunderstorms tend to go through cycles where they'll be very strong at one point and then decrease in intensity. So it's not to say it won't go back and increase in intensity. Right now, though, it does look like the threat for Knox County is starting to wane just a little bit. That tornado warning is in effect until 6:45 p.m. It's just before 6:30. And just got in word from the National Weather Service office in Norman, Oklahoma. Just before 6 o'clock, a personal weather station recorded a 95-mile-an-hour wind gust in Benjamin. So the National Weather Service is going to have to go and determine whether or not it was rotational winds like you would see with a tornado, or if it was non-rotational winds like you would expect with straight line winds. Regardless, though, it is very powerful winds and shows what this line of thunderstorms is capable of, especially kind of that southern end of the line of thunderstorms, like we're seeing across eastern portions of Knox County. So it looks like overall the circulation, the strongest winds were associated with this thunderstorm, and just received a report of a very destructive thunderstorm that moved through the community of Benjamin. So our thoughts and prayers for the people in Benjamin as this thunderstorm continues to move to the east. And that's just a reason to continue to be in your safe room again. If you don't know what the safe room is in your home, that's the lowest floor away from windows. The goal is really to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you have something like a small bathroom, a small closet, something that will really put several layers between you and the outside, that would be ideal for sheltering from a tornado. If you live in an apartment, your best bet is to go on the lowest floor. If you don't live on the first floor of your apartment, I'd suggest making friends with someone who lives on the first floor. Your leasing building, building might have a place to potentially shelter in the thunderstorm, which could potentially be a good bet with a tornadic circulation moving through eastern portions of Knox County. And unfortunately, there have been reports of damage through social media. And it's moving towards Red Springs, moving towards the community of Seymour. So folks in Red Springs, folks in Seymour, technically this is just outside of our viewing area. If you're watching us on streaming though, if you're have family or friends who lives in western portions of Baylor County near the community of Seymour, really need you to take this seriously, because even if it's not producing a tornado at this particular moment, it certainly has the potential to. It certainly has produced damage across portions of Knox County, unfortunately. So far, I haven't received any reports of injuries in Knox County, and that's certainly some good news. Folks who may be watching in Knox County, if you can safely send us some photos of damage to help kind of document what happened, that would certainly be appreciated. Right now there is a severe thunderstorm warning kind of on the backside. Benjamin, I want to emphasize you're not currently under a tornado warning. It looks like the main circulation I was tracking earlier in the newscast, and now Fox West Texas Live at 6 has ended. For those of you who may be just joining us, we're continuing live severe weather coverage for a tornado warning that's been issued for eastern Knox County and western Baylor County, right where the green and red are touching each other east of Vera, near Highway 82 in eastern Knox County, moving into western portions of Baylor County. I need you to be in that safe room. That's the lowest floor away from windows. If you want, you can watch us live on Facebook, watch us live on Fox West Texas Plus from your safe room, from your bathroom, small closet, anywhere you can go to protect you from this very dangerous thunderstorm. There have been reports of damage across in the community of Benjamin, really just showing how powerful of a thunderstorm this is. Also keeping an eye on this area to the west of the community of Monday, between Monday and Knox City. It looks like there might be a little bit of rotation there as well. And you can see to the southwest, kind of between Monday and Weiner in Haskell County, you can see that bulge out ahead of the main line of thunderstorms. That's indicative of strong winds with the thunderstorm, could potentially become tornadic. So Folks, in Monday, you're not currently under a tornado warning. I still want you to just stay inside though, because number one, this cluster of thunderstorms has history of producing damage, producing very strong wind reports. And even if we're not seeing a tornado with this section of the line, it could very well intensify soon. There is a tornado watch that's been issued through 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on it. We'll see if the National Weather Service is saying anything in the chat room. We have a way to communicate with the National Weather Service. And they're warning for the potential of upwards of 90-mile-an-hour winds in portions of Knox County. And National Weather Service in San Angelo is issuing for up to 70-mile-an-hour winds in northern Haskell County near the community of Weinert. So folks in Weinert, it doesn't look tornadic at this exact moment. That's what the National Weather Service is saying. But just know it's a powerful thunderstorm regardless. So I would say there are kind of two areas right now that eminently are potentially looking to be the most impactful. Number one is that tornado warning for eastern Knox County, western Baylor County. You're in that tornado warning for the next 10 minutes or so. It is just before 6:35, on this Tuesday evening, right where the green and red are touching each other. At this point, it looks to be right on the Baylor and Knox County lines, moving towards the community of Seymour. Folks in Seymour, I want you to take this seriously. We've seen, unfortunately, reports of damage in the community of Benjamin, a heartbreaking situation there. And it's moving towards you in the community of Seymour. And even though the thunderstorm may not look as organized on radar as it did maybe just 10 or 15 minutes ago, it's a powerful thunderstorm regardless. You want to be in that safe room. Lowest floor, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And still, the red winds, those are winds going away from the radar. These are the thunderstorm. These are the inflow winds, the winds going inside the thunderstorm. They're still strong. They're still really feeding that Gulf moisture into the thunderstorm. Radar is sampling those winds going upwards of 70 miles an hour. The severe thunderstorm warning, you see that yellow polygon that encompasses portions of Baylor County and to the north towards Wilbarger County is warned up to 90 miles an hour, because those are some of the reports we saw across portions of Knox County in the community near the community of Benjamin, where we saw those reports earlier. So definitely a strong thunderstorm, potentially very impactful. So really need you to be taking this seriously. And portions of Haskell County seeing reports of up to just under golf ball size tail, ping pong ball size tail, and a very powerful thunderstorm regardless. Seeing on social media, if we're receiving any reports, so far it doesn't look like we're receiving any reports on social media through Fox West Texas. If y'all do have any reports, feel free to pass those along. National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma, continuing the tornado warning until 6:45 p.m. for east central Knox County and northwestern Baylor County. And it looks like that rotation is tightening up just to the east of Knox County and far western Baylor County. So it's a powerful thunderstorm. It looks like they've trimmed the tornado warning even more. And it appears now that Vera County is no longer included in the tornado warning. It does include the community of Red Springs, which is in western portions of Baylor County. Vera County no longer included, the community of Vera in Knox County no longer included in that tornado warning. You're still seeing the really powerful winds, the heavy rainfall though, and the large hail. If you're in Vera, if you're in Knox County, I know this thunderstorm is scary, but just know if you take the right precautions, if you get in that safe room, keep it here at Fox West Texas, a reliable source of weather information, and you'll stay safe, you'll be all right. You still want to be in that safe room though, portions of Knox County between Vera and Seymour. Here's Highway 183. And you can see right where the green and red are right next to each other. We as meteorologists call that a rotational signature. The red is winds going away from the radar in Abilene, and green is winds going towards the radar in Abilene. So right where that circulation is, it's east of Vera. Here's Highway 180. Here's Highway 82 as it's approaching Seymour, the county seat of Baylor County, as it's approaching Highway 183. Even if it's not producing a tornado, it's producing the very gusty winds, very powerful winds. You want to continue to be in that safe room. The tornado warning's in effect for about 5 or 10 minutes. So folks near Vera, and it does look like the National Weather Service has issued a brand new tornado warning, and it's for the storm west of Seymour. And it does include Knox and Baylor County, and that's for far eastern portions of Knox County, and that's in effect until 7:30 p.m. So we're talking right on the border of Knox and Seymour County. The tornado warning's in effect until 7:30 p.m. I think depending on how fast this thunderstorm goes, National Weather Service might opt to cancel it for portions of Knox County a little bit sooner, because I do think it's transitioning more to a threat for Baylor County. Tristan? Could you make sure that we're on all our streaming platforms, please? Thank you, sir. All right, confirmed with production. We're still on all our streaming platforms. So far eastern portions of Knox County, need you to be in that tornado safe room now until at least 7:30 p.m. or until the National Weather Service gives the all clear, whichever happens first. I'll continue to keep a very close eye on it. Right where the red and green are touching each other, that is where the rotation is strongest right now. And you can even see out ahead of that kind of main area of rotation, just to the west of the community of Seymour, still some really powerful winds right there. Radar sampling that the winds right next to each other are about 50 miles an hour, and we're relatively, and now just new data has bumped that up to 111 miles an hour. So radar is sampling winds upwards of 111 miles an hour in far east central Knox County, western portions of Baylor County. This is a dangerous situation. I need you to put as many walls between you and the outside. Really need you to be in that safe room. National Weather Service. Storm Chaser reports a tornado on the ground northeast of Vera, and unfortunately reports of damage as well coming in from the National Weather Service. So really just shows the danger of the situation. We had reports of damage in Benjamin. Now we're seeing reports of damage in Vera. Just a heartbreaking situation. Folks in Benjamin, folks east of Vera, I need you to be in your safe room. And we're starting to see more thunderstorms across the area, billing in towards the Red River. It looks like the Fox West Texas viewing area is kind of on the southern edge of these thunderstorms. We're still seeing the rains near Guthrie, near Haskell. These are eventually moving to the east out of our viewing area. Haskell County, you're included in that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15 p.m. for the potential of ping pong ball sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's not the most impactful storm in our viewing area. It's not the most impactful thunderstorm in West Texas. It is, though, a impactful storm nonetheless. So if you live north of Haskell along Highway 277 in Haskell County, I want you to be in that safe room, lowest floor away from windows. National Weather Service continuing that tornado warning for eastern portions of Haskell County into eastern portions of Knox County into portions of Baylor County, giving a wide view for Knox County. The majority of folks in Knox County not currently under a tornado warning. It's far eastern Knox County transitioning into Baylor County. That's where the imminent tornado threat is. If you know folks who live right on the border of Knox County, I want you to give them a phone call. This is a thunderstorm that has reportedly produced damage. It's reportedly produced a tornado to the northeast of Vera. It's also reportedly produced very strong wind gusts, had a report of over 95 miles an hour. We can take a look at some of the most recent reports that have come in from storm spotters. And you can see that severe thunderstorm gust near Goree, that's south of Vera, northeast of Monday, 68 mile an hour wind gusts. Another one just to the north of that, that was also for 68 miles an hour. The biggest one, that was in Benjamin, that was reported up to 95 miles an hour. So even if the thunderstorm's not producing winds 95 miles an hour, 68 mile an hour winds will still produce damage at your property. So you still want to be in that safe room. Lowest floor away from windows, we're talking eastern Knox County, far western portions. We're talking eastern Knox County, far western portions of Baylor County. And right now, the National Weather Service, we can go ahead and put a track on this thunderstorm. It's also capable of producing 2-inch in diameter hail. So even if it's not producing a tornado, again, a very real hail threat associated with the thunderstorm as well. And this has been labeled by the National Weather Service as a particularly dangerous situation because of the reports of damage. So if you know folks who live in this region, if you live in this region, now is your call to action with the very powerful thunderstorm moving into portions of Baylor County. It's moving east at 20 miles an hour. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to briefly zoom out and track the thunderstorm as it moves into portions of Baylor County. Put a storm cone on it. It's moving east at 20 miles an hour. So on its current trajectory, the powerful circulation that's produced a tornado near Vera produced very strong winds near the community of Benjamin. It's expected to be near Seymour Municipal Airport at 7:10 p.m. So folks near the community of Seymour, near Seymour Municipal Airport, want you to be in that safe room, lowest floor, away from windows. It's going to be near Maybell at 7:32 p.m. And if this thunderstorm keeps up its current trajectory, it's likely to move into portions of Archer County, which is again just outside the Fox West Texas viewing area. A lot of folks though have family between Abilene and Wichita Falls. This is the area I'm talking about right now. It's between Abilene and Wichita Falls. So if you know folks who live in that region, I want you to give them a phone call. Let them know the current situation. The fact that damage has reportedly been produced in Benjamin and Vera. Still really strong, still a very strong thunderstorm near the community of Benjamin. And I want to point this out on radar. You notice that bulging shape just to the north of Highway 87 in Baylor County. That's the very strong winds associated with the thunderstorm. You notice it goes out ahead of the rest of the line of thunderstorms in Baylor County. That's due to the very strong nature of the winds and the potential circulation for portions of Baylor. And the confirmed circulation, the National Weather Service calling this a particularly dangerous situation, eastern portions of Knox County, western portions of Baylor County, for 90 mile an hour wind gusts associated with the thunderstorm. So just a really powerful. And you can see that little hole right in the middle of the radar data in western Baylor County, northwest of the community of Seymour. That could potentially be some debris being detected in the thunderstorm. You can sometimes see those little holes in radar rainfall data because essentially what happens is you have the really strong upward moving upward moving air in the thunderstorm. That gets detected by radar as almost like a donut hole in the radar data, indicative of a very powerful thunderstorm. Again, right where the green and red are touching each other. It looks right now to be just east of the Knox County line, moving into portions of Baylor County. It's a really powerful thunderstorm. Really need you to be taking this seriously. Again, lowest floor away from windows. There have been reports of storm chasers in the field saying that unfortunately there has been reports of damage in portions of Knox County. That's what's moving into portions of Baylor County. Also a big flash flooding threat between now and about 11 p.m. National Weather Service discussing, taking a second to keep up with all of the latest information. You can see that little circulation as well to the east of the community of Monday moving towards Beau Martin. National Weather Service also keeping a close eye on that. The big threat, the most powerful thunderstorm right now is east central Knox County, really more of northeastern Knox County, moving into portions of Baylor County. Where the green and red touching each other, that's where you have that rotation. You see the green is moving towards the radar in Abilene, the red is wind moving away from the radar. You notice that counterclockwise movement being picked up on the radar. That's likely your tornadic circulation. And just in with this latest radar scan, it's not looking as well organized. That's some good news. Hopefully gives you a little bit of peace of mind in eastern Knox County. Western Baylor County, I still want you to be taking this seriously though. I still want you to be in that safe room, lowest floor away from windows. And it looks like the newest tornado warning, newest addition to the tornado warning, does include the community of Seymour and Maybell, which is technically just outside of the Fox West Texas viewing area. It's a potentially impactful thunderstorm, to say the least, and Knox County, which is the northernmost county in our viewing area, still is included in that tornado warning. I do think overall the tornado warning is waning a little bit. It's decreasing a little bit for Knox County. Still though, you are technically under that tornado warning until 7:30 this evening. And National Weather Service has issued a big severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Knox County, Ford County, Wilbarger and Baylor counties. So it's moving towards the city of Wichita Falls, which is right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma. And that's a pretty big severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 7:15 p.m. It does look like the strongest thunderstorm is moving out of Knox County. Still though, east of Benjamin, if I kind of draw a line across central Knox County, east of that I think is where the most impactful weather is ongoing right now. Very heavy rainfall. You'll notice those green polygons as well. You see that green polygon stretching from Guthrie down towards Aspermont. That's because this thunderstorm dumped a lot of rain earlier this evening. Leads to a threat of flash flooding. Remember, it just takes about 6 inches of standing water in order to move something like your car. So you really need to be taking that seriously. Obviously, the tornado threat probably gets a lot more attention on days like today, but the flash flooding threat is, I would argue, potentially a bigger deal because the tornadic circulation, they can unfortunately cause damage and fatalities, but flash flooding is actually one of, if not the biggest causes of fatality with weather. So you still need to be taking that threat seriously, even if there's not an imminent tornado threat. For places like Guthrie or Aspermont, there's still been a lot of rain, and we may be looking at potentially some redevelopment. You can see a little bit of rain back towards Childress, back towards Plainview, and that's why the National Weather Service has that tornado watch in effect until 1 o'clock this morning. And also just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for Crockett County, well south of those thunderstorms in Knox County. But you can see near the community of Ira Ann, here's Highway 190 in northern Crockett County. That severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7:30 p.m. Folks in Crockett County, I want to emphasize, there's not an imminent tornado threat for you. The concern in Crockett County is the threat of very large hail, potentially upwards of 2 inches in diameter. Do apologize, receiving lots of notifications with the ongoing severe weather across the Fox West Texas viewing area. A broad look, Concho Valley for the most part staying storm-free other than that thunderstorm I was just tracking for you in far northwestern portions of Crockett County. Since the 6 p.m. newscast, we have seen the issuance of a tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable for tornado development. We've unfortunately received reports of damage in Knox County, reports of a tornado near Vera per the National Weather Service. And the community of Seymour still remains in the direct path of this very powerful thunderstorm. So folks in Seymour, I really need you to be taking this seriously. Really want you to be in that lowest floor away from windows. This is a look at the winds inside the thunderstorm. And you can see there's actually a pretty broad area of rotation associated with the thunderstorm. Here's the winds moving away from the radar. They're feeding that Gulf moisture into the thunderstorm. And then you have the winds blowing away from the radar. That's all of these green areas. I do think the threat is dwindling for Knox County. If I had to guess, National Weather Service probably going to allow that tornado warning to expire. And just in, the tornado warning for Knox County has allowed to expire. Tristan, with that, we can send it back to regularly scheduled programming in just a second. Since Knox County is out of our viewing area, and we can continue keeping folks up to date via streaming. And I do want to give folks a quick recap. We have those severe thunderstorms, just the one severe thunderstorm warning in Crockett County. The one severe thunderstorm warning in Crockett County, for the most part, it's quiet in the Concho Valley. The big story right now, the reason we've been cutting in on air is for earlier, a confirmed tornado in Knox County. If you have any reports of damage, please send them our way to Fox West Texas so we can help inform all our viewers about the potential impactful weather. The tornado warning still in effect for Baylor County until 7:30 p.m. So folks in Baylor County, really need you to be taking this seriously. You can follow it with our sister stations in Wichita Falls, as eventually this thunderstorm will be approaching the Wichita Falls television market. Thunderstorms still ongoing south towards Abilene. You can see a little bit of a thunderstorm near Aspermont. That thunderstorm is severe. That thunderstorm near Aspermont's not severe. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings though for Haskell County and Knox County. Main tornado threat though has moved out of the Fox West Texas viewing area. At least the imminent tornado threat. There's still a tornado watch in effect until 1 a.m. So make sure you continue to stay up to date. Continue to follow it here with us at Fox West Texas. And for now, we'll send it back to regularly scheduled programming.